Hello. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah, in case you're interested. I used the King James Version of the Holy Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel, which is playing out as we speak, because now my people are being evicted from their homes, being forced to live on the streets, in their tents, in their cars. And that is the last condition necessary for the creation of the nation of Zion. So, I'm here to tell you what we're going to do once you come. Because you're going to come. The Bible says so. You will yet help me to pitch my tent, to stretch forth the curtains of my habitation out west in the panhandle of Nebraska, where we can social distance, contact trace easily, and end the pandemic in Zion. Now, the pandemic, of course, will still rage in the rest of the United States of America, corporate America, or what will be left of it when we ascend to our new mountain home. But in order to get there, we first have to get together and organize ourselves. And we'll do so according to that which the Grey have taught me, their form of government. Now, I don't have a name for this government, and it doesn't really need a name, I don't think. Well, I guess you could call it the Council of Elders, because that's what it is. The elders of the Grey race govern the Grey race in a council, which is made up of chairs. Each chair is attached to a guild, which oversees everything associated with that chair. So all medical things would be under the chair of medicine. All scientific things would be under the scientific chair. All child issues would be taken care of by the child care guild. The infrastructure, all of the working mechanical things, would be under the mechanical guild or the infrastructure guild or whatever you want to call it. But each function of government would be housed in a chair, which would have an elected representative from the guild that it's associated with. Now, each guild that has a chair will actually be a conglomerate of lesser guilds that make up that functioning chair. So in the infrastructure chair, there would be an electrician's guild, there would be a plumber's guild, there would be a construction guild, there would be a maintenance guild. Everything associated with the infrastructure of the nation would be covered by that single chair, but that single chair would have a corporation, so to speak, of lesser entities that would make up this organization, the guild. Now, each of the elders who sit on the council will have dedicated their lives to the requisition of that chair. They will have decided as a child that they wanted to be in that chair. And then they would have worked their way up through their individual guild at entry level. They would have mastered their single guild and been part of a program of government that would have allowed them to learn every aspect of every guild under the chair that they're going to be seeking when they become an elder. So, and in order for them to qualify to be in the election for that chair, they would have had to master every level underneath them. They would be so qualified. And they would only be up against qualified people of equal talents and skills and knowledge. So that the person who is the elder that is running that chair will have been elected from amongst the best, most qualified people in that field. And their only motivation as the elder of that chair would be to oversee the government's function in that chair. And they would be required by the functioning of the government to work with associated groups, other chairs. And the chairs would work together to oversee all functions of the government and to see that its operation is smoothly. And it will do so easily because it'll be missing the one thing that fucks everything up on Earth. Money. There's no money in Zion. Okay, in the game Monopoly, and in the game poker, and in any other game that we come up with that requires money, there'll be money. But it'll be a toy, which is exactly what it is. It's a toy. Created for the pleasure of man, to distract them, to occupy them, to entertain them. That's all money is. So we'll put it in its proper place. And instead, we'll use necessity to be the guidelines of our government. Now, there will be amongst the elders that sit on the council, there will be a head elder to oversee the functions of the government. And that person will be elected from amongst the chairs. And they will have not the capabilities of each chair, but the authority to call upon each chair at will to do necessary functions in government to make it all work smoothly. And they will be overseen by the king and queen, who were divinely elected and put through hell and qualified by their election, by their ascension, by their willingness to have already gone through hell for the people prior to the development of the nation itself. That would be me, Zion, and my beloved Messiah, if he still lives, if he ever comes. That's the only if, is Kenny. Kenny. That got nothing to do with him. He's his own person, and I don't even know if he's alive, and I don't care. Because it's not, I don't believe. When he walks through the door, he walks through the door. If he comes as a ghost, fine. I'd rather have a ghost of Kenny than a physical body of somebody else. But that's because he's my soulmate. I know this because God told me. They chose him for me. That's what makes him Messiah. That's the only qualification he has. They chose him. They chose him because we had a prior history. I fell in love with him. But because our energies are the same. We have the same wavelength. Which is why rape can't come between us. Nothing can come between us but ourselves. But that's beside the point. Anyway, our function is to provide unity, to work with other principalities, to be the figurehead, and to dissolve any disputes within the council. Now, King and Queen, that's not a thing on the Council of the Grey. That's only the thing for Zion. And that's because we're the head of the government, the world government. We've been given authority from higher powers to rule the planet, not just the nation. So we will oversee the government of the planet once the changes happen. But, just for now, we're organization. But that's all prophecy. That's what's coming. We have to deal with what is. So what we're going to do when you get here, we're going to organize ourselves by guilds. We're going to form guilds. So, if you're a plumber, you will be organized into a plumber's guild where you will get together and elect for yourselves a temporary guild leader, somebody who's over 50 years old, who has the qualifications, meaning who has run a business themselves that dealt with plumbing, and that is successful in it. The best reputation wins. Reputation, not money. That's what we deal with in Zion. Facts, skills, necessities, and unity. So all the plumbers will get together, and all the electricians will get together, and all the carpenters will get together, and all the musicians will get together, and all the newscasters will get together. We'll all pool all of our money, and we'll take that money, and we will buy the necessary things that we're going to need out west to sustain ourselves during the course of our quarantine. And then we're going to social distance our tents, as I discussed in our last video. And we're going to organize ourselves. We're going to have power. We're going to have people who can drill for water in places where there's no lakes. We're going to have to build canals for water distribution, and it's going to be a big endeavor. But we all have skills. And if we put those skills to use in the right way, for the good of all, we can social distance, we can provide ourselves with the basics: food, water, electricity, communications, entertainment. Those things are important. And we can restructure ourselves to deal with problems. And we can do it in such a way that we let facts and figures, statistics, truth be the judge. Where the best, most qualified people are in charge, not because they have the most money and have the prettiest face or can tell the best lie, which is what politics is all about, but because they have established themselves in their field as qualified people who know what they're doing and who can address an issue based on the facts, who can use what's available to fix it and not grandiose it into non-existence like the politicians are doing right now. So we can go back to the basics. We might have to go without social media for a while we set up our own social media that doesn't allow falseness of any kind. Truth alone matters. So we'll have to do without the luxuries for a bit. Basics, we have to take care of food, water, shelter, everything like that. But I have the means to do that. It's like when we go out to our tents, we're going to dig ourselves a shelter so that tornadoes and storms won't get to us, so that we can be cool in the heat, because the temperature of the earth will keep us cool. It will also keep us warm in the winter if we have to winter, because that's a possibility. So we'll dig in, shelter in place, social distance, wear masks, put our resources together, provide for our immediate needs, and create a society based on skills, on truth, on necessity, not on money. So let's pool our money together and get our shit together and go out west and live. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy, be your joy, pursue your joy. When you're forced to live in a tent, come to York, Nebraska. Let's take a stand. Love you later. Goodbye. Because I'll never say goodbye.